While I'm wearing this, I do not have any pain. I can use it on the keyboard, I can use my phone, I drive with it, I sleep with it. I love this glove.
The new Copperfit compression gloves with sure grip technology. Relief from painful muscle and joint soreness. Guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-984-5571 or on the web at getcopperfitgloves.com for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
I tried it, I use it, I know it works.
Copperfit gloves definitely just make my life better.
I've used Copperfit before. This has helped my hands so much. These things work.
Feel better with copper-infused compression. Ask for it by name. Copperfit compression gloves.
I'm Nick Bolton, and these days...
Hey there.
Hey there. It seems everybody has a pair of tactical sunglasses.
Good morning.
Morning. But what if you already wear glasses? Then you need these Up Tac Glasses. These new glasses fit right over your existing eyewear to give you all the benefits of our tack glasses while you comfortably wear your regular glasses. Plus, like all tack glasses, Up Tac Glasses feature Bell & Howell light filtering technology that makes invisible objects suddenly become visible. There's just nothing like them on the market today. Here you go, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Act now to get your Up Tac Glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship them to you free. But wait, order today and you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-284-4127 or go to flipupglasses.com. That's 1-800-284-4127 or order online at flipupglasses.com.
Live from our Denver studios, it's America's Voice Live with Tudor Dixon and Steve Groomer. America's Voice Live.
Welcome to America's Voice Live on this Thursday, the first day of October 2020. I'm Tudor Dixon here with Jessica Rivera. Steve Gruber is off today. I can't believe it's already the first day of October. It seems to have come out of nowhere, and before we know it, of course, the 3rd of November will be here, although I'm not sure that that will end all of the chaos once that day comes and goes. But let's look at today's headlines, and then we're going to bring in our Real America's Voice contributor, Terrence K. Williams. Most of the presidential debates have one of those famous quotable moments, but somehow this time, Jessica, the mainstream media seems to have created one that many folks say wasn't really there. We're going to talk about the media's push to link the president with white supremacy. And a new stimulus bill did not get signed in time, and now airlines are facing big layoffs today. Many say Tuesday night's debate was chaotic, and that seems to have led the commission in presidential debates to talk about changing the rules. But first, I want to bring Terrence K. Williams into the conversation because I want to get his reaction to other people's reactions because he does that so well. Terrence, welcome back to the program.
Hey.
Hey, so I want to show you a video of media reactions, Joe Biden's reaction, and the president's reaction to Tuesday night's debate. Here it is.
And the president, I don't know if Joe Biden won the debate per se. He had some nice moments, but I thought he was kind of flat.
I just want to give voice to what is probably an elephant in the room for those of you who have moderated debates. Chris Wallace did not act as a moderator. Donald Trump did not act as a debater. Yeah. Donald Trump was the abuser, and Chris Wallace was among the abused.
I thought that Joe wasn't sharp, and the president, I thought, was so forceful at times that I thought he was going to try and eat Joe Biden literally on the stage there.
The verdict is in, and they say that we, all of us, won big last night.
Look, I thought it was embarrassing for the country the way the president acted, for the rest of the world watching this.
It's interesting that he keeps talking about how the president acted. However, most of the insults and nasty comments did come from Joe Biden. What was your take on the debates, Terrence?
Well, I have to say the debate was an absolutely hot mess. It was so hot. It was a hot mess. Chris Wallace, I felt like he was not a moderator. I felt like he was acting as Joe Biden's nurse. He was there to take care of Joe Biden. That's what I felt like. I felt like he interrupted President Trump more than he interrupted Joe Biden. I thought it was totally unfair. Chris Wallace was not being a good moderator. And I believe that President Trump won the debate. Joe Biden was flat. The guy, I mean, he was so boring. I almost fell asleep every time Joe Biden opened up his mouth. And I don't know what kind of drugs they have him on, but he was clearly drugged up. This man was a robot on that stage, okay? Those were drugs. I can tell you that right now. Those were drugs, but we will never really, really know because Joe Biden will not take a drug test. President Trump is willing to take one, but he don't want to take one. So we all know what it means. He must be on drugs. A liar will not take a lie detector test, okay? So a druggie does not want to take a drug test. I mean, you know, it is simple as that. It's simple as 1, 2, 3, ABC. Now, I'm looking forward to the next debate, and I hope it is not as bad as this first one was because it was so horrible, and they kept bringing up race this and race that. I want to know how many times does President Trump has to condemn white supremacy? He's condemned that so many times, so many times. He should not have to condemn it every time he opened up his mouth. It's ridiculous. We all know he's not a racist. We all know he don't get down with the KKK. We know he don't get down with white supremacy. So why apologize? So why do they try to make him condemn it every time he opened his mouth when they know he's not a racist? I don't get it. It doesn't make any kind of sense at all. I mean, it's not fair.
And Terrence,
yeah,
so we're
it's
Tudor.
Go ahead.
So we're hearing, Terrence, about all of these changes that will possibly take place for the next debate, rule changes that they say are necessary. Now we're also hearing that the Trump campaign has not agreed to it. As a matter of fact, right now they're saying that they won't agree to it as of right now. But do you agree that there are changes that need to be made for the next presidential debate? And if so, how would you change the rules?
Well, the rules I would allow. First of all, I think the way that President Trump debate is great. I think that they should allow they should allow President Trump and Joe Biden to go at each other, the way that they want to. No holds bars. No backs up against the ropes. Like let's go at it. And I think President Trump should be allowed to defend himself because he was not able to defend himself. If Joe Biden says something so horrible about him that's not true and President Trump can't defend himself, then that makes it look like that lie was the truth when it wasn't. And Chris Wallace would stop President Trump from defending himself. And President Trump would say, listen, he just said this thing about me that's not true. I can't say anything back. No, you can't. What you mean he can't say anything back? That's not fair. That's not a real debate if he cannot debate what Joe Biden just said, if he can't defend himself. So I think that the next debate, they should allow President Trump to stop Joe Biden right in his lying tracks and tell him what's the deal and the truth. And so President Trump can defend himself. President Trump was not able to defend himself the way that he wanted to. And I think that they should ease up and let the debaters go at it, Let them go at it. Ease up.
Well, that is not what they're talking about, Terrence. They're actually talking about shutting off mics so people can't respond. But you mentioned something interesting. Joe Biden and the lies that he did throw out there, and a lot of people fact-checked the president, a lot of media fact-checked the president. Not so many people were fact-checking Joe Biden, but Breitbart did come out. John Carney from Breitbart, he came out with an article saying Joe Biden spent the first debate flooding America with a torrent of lies. So he went through many different things. He said that, all of these stories about Hunter were not true, but didn't back those up with any facts. He talked about the president's taxes, saying that he illegally didn't pay. The president then had to go back to him and say, that was your tax law that allowed me to do this. And if his mic were shut off, obviously he would not be allowed to point out those things. That has been a trademark of President Trump during these debates, is to be able to put that moment of truth, those comments in there. But one thing that he did lie about that John Carney pointed out was that he lied when he said that the 2017 Tax Act didn't lower taxes for the American people. And in this article, he actually points out something from the New York Times. So I want to read this to you, and I want to ask you, what your opinion is on why it's so important for the American taxpayer to really understand what the president has done for them. Because it says, this is from back in 2017, if you are an American taxpayer, you probably got a tax cut last year. There's a good chance you don't believe it. Ever since President Trump signed the Republican-sponsored tax bill in December 2017, independent analysis have consistently found that a large majority of Americans would owe less because of the law. So the truth is that Americans did get a big tax cut, no matter what tax bracket they were in, under the president's administration. How does the president fight back if he's going to be muted?
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, this is what the media does to him every single day. They mute the truth. They're going to mute the truth during the debate. Are you freaking kidding me? They do that every single day in the media. CNN does it. MSNBC does it. You know, I mean, they all do it except America's Voice News, you know, but all these other ones, they all mute the truth, you know. And they're going to do it on stage also. That is absolutely wrong. And I will not watch that debate if they're going to mute the truth. They do not. First of all, he is the president of the United States of America. You don't get to mute the president. Who in the HELL do these people think they are? You do not mute the president. Are these people crazy? And you know what? And them muting the truth, that right there is the reason why people don't know things about the tax cuts. That's the reason why people don't know things about what President Trump is out here really doing for America, because they want to mute the truth. Now they're telling us they're going to mute the truth during the debate.
And Terrence, I know it's absolutely crazy, but celebrities in AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is accusing President Trump of white supremacy. You mentioned that earlier. How many times does he have to defend himself? But they come out with all of these tweets, basically calling out that at the debates he said to the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Now, yesterday, the day after the debates, the president was asked to clarify that statement, and he said, what I meant is, if they're out there and they're watching things go on, they need to stand back and stand by and not get involved. So he clarified that yesterday, but some people are not taking that as clarification. What say you?
Well, you know, AOC has the nerves to call the president a white supremacist. AOC is a dumb supremacist, okay? I mean, I am against white supremacy, and I'm against stupid liberal stupidity, which is what AOC is all about. You know, liberal stupidity, liberal dumb supremacy. That is AOC all day, every day. The president, we all know he's not a racist. Look at what he has done for the black community. President Trump, prior to COVID, black unemployment was at an all-time low, historic low, numbers that we have never seen before. They were so low. Black poverty was at an all-time low. I mean, he has given historic funding to the HBCUs, to historical black colleges, something that Obama did not do. Not even the first black president helped black people as much as President Trump has. And then look at the First Step Act that freed over thousands and thousands of black people that were locked up under Bill Clinton's 1994 crime bill and the crime bill that was endorsed by Joe Biden. So, I mean, y'all want to call this man a racist? I mean, before he became president, everybody loved him in the black community. The rappers loved him. The hip hop community loved him. You heard him in all the rap songs. Al Sharpton used to love President Trump. Now, before I say this, Terrence is not fat shaming anybody, but when Al Sharpton used to love President Trump, he was on the heavy side. That's when he was getting donations from President Trump, and he was eating all that money up. Now that President Trump is not giving Al Sharpton any money anymore, Al Sharpton lost all that weight. He's not eating good no more. You know, he's not getting that Trump money no more. You know, I mean, they used to love Trump when he used to give him stuff. Now that Trump's not giving him anything anymore, they want to call him a racist. Oh, get out of here. Please get out of here. This president is not a racist.
Terrence K. Williams, always a pleasure to have you on. Jessica, it is interesting that the president gets hit hard on white supremacy while Joe Biden gets away with not talking about Antifa. Actually, not just not talking about Antifa, but instead of saying Antifa is a terrorist organization, saying it is simply an idea. It's really shocking. But I want to go to Ben Bergquam because we have him out in California where they're doing something pretty unique to open the state, maybe against the rules a little bit, but we know Ben himself likes to be a rule breaker. So Ben, tell us what's going on out there in Fresno.
Hey, well, if it means supporting the Constitution, yes, I'll be on the side of those that stand with the Constitution every single time against tyrants, which is what we have out here in California. I'm at the Press Box Sports Grill in Fresno, California. This is one of 3 locations that has been shut down for 6 months, basically devastated. Today is the day that Fresno businesses have come together and say no more. October 1st, we are opening, and never again will we allow the government to shut us down. They've actually agreed that there will be a floor that they will never go below again. I had the opportunity to interview the owner of this and 2 other locations, Tom Miller, and I believe we have part of that interview set to go.
Anybody that's taken our pledge, we will never close less than 25% ever again, period. So if there's a rollback, the rollback is to 25% is the lowest we'll go back. We all agree this is unconstitutional. Even my left-leaning friends have said this is unconstitutional, that they are able to select which businesses stay closed and which ones stay open. I can tell you most of the people complaining that this isn't that this is wrong are business owners. Most of the people that are complaining that we shouldn't be open are maybe city and officials or employees, people that don't have to work like we do for our job, for our livelihood. So it's been difficult to try to make sure we understand COVID is real, but the truth is that we can do it safely.
And that is the message to all businesses in Fresno and across the state of California. It's time to reopen. It's time to stop this arbitrary political attack on our Constitution and on business owners' ability to survive and provide for their families. That all being said, in Fresno County, there's only 70 people in our hospitals right now, the last number I saw, with COVID, yet the suicide rate is up over 40% this year. It's insane, and it has to stop, Tudor.
And Ben, this is Jessica, but the House Democrat stimulus bill, we understand there still isn't an agreement, but they are still negotiating. They say they're still talking, but we're hearing that the House Democrat stimulus bill includes stimulus checks for illegal immigrants and protections from deportations, which is possibly one of the many reasons that there hasn't been an agreement. When I heard that, it is basically the House Democrats wanting to protect illegal immigrants over their own Americans that are suffering, and this is way overdue. What are your thoughts?
It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. This is what we have come to expect from the anti-American left, the Democratic Party in America today. They would protect the same thing we have in California with these sanctuary policies and all over the country in these liberally run cities and states where they protect illegal aliens at the expense of American citizens. This is one of those things that's on the ballot. All of this, the decision this year could not be any clearer. If you support freedom, if you support liberty, if you support America and American sovereignty, if you support the rule of law, if you support business owners, not looters, you have to support conservatives. You cannot support the Democrats. It is absolutely 100% clear. And really what it is to me, them throwing that in there, it's a poison pill for the bill. They know that will never get anywhere. The Republicans will not support it, thankfully, because we have a president that actually stands up and fights back. But it's a slap in the face to every American citizen who is suffering right now because of these Democrat shutdowns. And to all the people, and what really made me sick during the debate was hearing these Democrats attack President Trump for COVID. When you look at the states that are the most hard hit by this, it is states like California and New York, where you have governors that sent the elderly back to nursing homes to die. All of these, the lies by the mainstream media, the lies by the left, the American people see it. And I think this is just one more example of pouring salt into the wound. And I pray the American people aren't going to take it anymore.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have folks that are out of work. You're talking about people there in Fresno who want to reopen. The airlines are desperate for this bill to pass. They are now furloughing employees today, up to 32,000 employees today. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but I just want you to think about the impact of this bill very quickly, and I want your response. They're actually protecting not only these folks that have jobs here that are illegal immigrants, they're giving them deferred action on immigration. They're also protecting companies who want to hire them. So any company who would hire someone knowingly illegal will be protected under this new bill. Now, let me ask you this. We have about 1 minute left, Ben. What does that have to do with coronavirus and the people, the Americans that are out of work?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just shows that they're frauds. It shows that they do not care about actually fixing the problems. Everything that we see coming from the Democrats between now and Election Day is political. And it is simply, again, a slap in the face to the American people. There's no other justification for it. I mean, keep in mind at the same time, these leftists have been pushing for open borders this entire time. As if you actually wanted to stop the coronavirus, as President Trump said, shutting down travel from China, closing our borders. Even Canada has done it. Even Canada shut their borders to the U.S. It's absolutely insane. But again, I think the American people are seeing through it.
Absolutely. Ben Bergquam, thank you so much for coming on. Jessica, it is very interesting. We keep hearing the Democrats say that nobody will come to negotiate, but when you find out that this is what's in the bill, you can see why Republicans are questioning it. Stay tuned. You're watching America's Voice Live.
Tired of struggling with regular mirrors that don't adjust so you can't get close enough? Need both hands but you don't have a stand? Can't move in the right direction to see your own reflection? You need Flexible Mirror, the bendable, light-up magnification mirror that comes to you. Watch. Just stick it on and turn the base. The super suction locking mechanism means you can put it on any smooth surfaced place, horizontal or vertical. Lock it onto any mirror, table, or desk. Use it in the shower, even on a window. The secret is Flexible Mirror's super strong articulating arm that's attached with an ingenious ball and socket so it can swivel and rotate for the perfect angle. And look how strong it holds. The mirror is precision crafted with 10 times magnification and crystal clear optics. And with a soft glow LED ring, you'll get picture-perfect lighting to highlight every detail. Flexible Mirror makes shaving, applying makeup, hairstyling, grooming, and accessorizing easier than ever before. Plus, men, listen up. The 10 times magnification makes it perfect for giving your beard a detailed trim. Whatever you need to do, Flexible Mirror comes to you. Plus, the contemporary chrome accents add a lovely modern touch to any room. Stop struggling to put in your delicate contacts and let Flexible Mirror come to you, so it's much easier to do. Similar mirrors can cost as much as $100, and they don't even come to you. But you can get Flexible Mirror for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. We guarantee you'll love the Flexible Mirror so much that it comes with our 90-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. And here's the best part. We give you free shipping on your entire order. That's right, free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-987-6183. That's 1-800-987-6183 or order online at tryflexiblemirror.com.
I'm Nick Bolton, and these days...
Hey there.
Hey there. It seems everybody has a pair of tactical sunglasses.
Good morning.
Morning. But what if you already wear glasses? Then you need these Up Tac Glasses. These new glasses fit right over your existing eyewear to give you all the benefits of our tack glasses while you comfortably wear your regular glasses. Plus, like all tack glasses, Up Tac Glasses feature Bell & Howell light filtering technology that makes invisible objects suddenly become visible. There's just nothing like them on the market today. Here you go, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Act now to get your Up Tac Glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship them to you free. But wait, order today and you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-284-4127 or go to flipupglasses.com. That's 1-800-284-4127 or order online at flipupglasses.com.
Welcome back to America's Voice Live. I'm Jessica Rivera in for Steve Groomer and alongside Tudor Dixon today. And Tudor, United and American Airlines are furloughing more than 32,000 employees, citing no more money for payroll after today, which is the end of the date for the Federal CARES Act payroll support program. United is furloughing 13,000 and American is furloughing 19,000. American Airlines spoke with Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, and the Secretary says he met with the White House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, yesterday, and there's no deal, but they continue to negotiate on a bipartisan COVID-19 relief package that would actually extend the payroll support program, and if a deal is made soon enough, 32,000 airline employees would not have to be furloughed indefinitely. But Tudor, when I was going through this story, I was really thinking to myself, I hope the CEOs of both the airlines, I hope they really make sure that they made the needed cuts to their own pay as well, because when the pandemic is over, there is surely going to be a deeper look into how money was spent with many large companies, not just the airlines. And if CEOs took pay cuts or bonuses with the bailout money, so they better have their ducks all in a row. That's all I'm hoping they have.
Absolutely. And we've seen so many people who have illegally or wrongfully taken money out of this. However, the airlines have said that they've used this to keep people on. They are huge operations, and obviously we know that air travel is down 70%. Now, they were hoping that this new coronavirus stimulus bill, that the CARES Act would at least be extended as of last night. What we just talked about with Ben, you saw that package that was presented by Democrats included a lot of money for illegal immigrants and some extra perks that illegal immigrants would not normally have with deferred action on immigration status, and also allowing businesses to hire immigrants with no repercussions whatsoever. Where I think a lot of Republicans are coming to the table and saying this isn't fair to the American people. But Steve Mnuchin, he does say that he thinks there will be a deal soon. Here is Secretary Mnuchin.
I can tell you from our standpoint, Mark Meadows and I have been very clear that the president would like to do a deal that's a fair deal and something that can help the American public right now. We're not going to do a $2.2 trillion deal. The good news is the Speaker has come down from her $3.4 trillion deal. If there's a fair compromise, we're prepared to do it.
Jessica, I think that anybody would be prepared to make a compromise at this point. I'm hoping that that's what happens with that Speaker of the House. Now, we do know that there was an extension. They were going to present that bill last night, and those talks did give them more time to try to negotiate a better deal. But they've already gone through the one deal. We know that they're hoping to not have so much money out there, but also be able to save folks like the airlines. I mean, we look at the difference between what happened with Disney in Florida and Disney in California. So you have two of this, almost identical theme parks there. In Florida, they've been able to reopen, they've been able to have people in the park, and they've been able to keep people there. In California, they kept them shut down. They have not believed in the fact that masks and being outdoors was going to be enough, and now they've also laid off 28,000 people, Jessica.
And Tudor, you were just pointing to the reality that this really goes back to management, or who is in charge. So I really hope that Washington realizes what they're doing, because I do think this is the way that Democrats are trying to hold that money up, because they know Republicans will never give in to those illegal immigrant protections, and they know this. So this is a way for them to be able to blame it on the Republicans and say, see, we tried all we could, and they just kept saying no, 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 when in reality, we're supposed to be focused on a pandemic issue versus trying to solve the whole country's problems and issues, and I think it's really something that they're taking advantage of. And I really hope their constituents realize this, and when it comes to voting, they need to really, really recognize that and realize who was on their side during the pandemic and who wasn't. But anyway, stay with us for much more here on America's Voice Live. We have much more coming up after the break.
Brett Favre, legendary quarterback. Jerry Rice, legendary wide receiver.
You ready for your weekly meeting?
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's do this.
Let's stack the deck.
When legends play, they wear Copperfit Advanced Back Pro. Copperfit's best-selling compression back support just got better with new double-band adjustable supports for customizable compression when you need it most.
Since I put this on, I feel so much better. The core is the most important thing. To know that I'm stabilized here. Whatever I'm doing, I can give it 100%.
4 built-in stabilizing supports designed to improve posture and help reduce lower back stress and strain.
You have back pain and it's affecting your everyday life. You do something.
If you can find something to help you get back out and be active like Copperfit, go for it.
Absolutely.
Do not give up. A high-performance compression fabric infused with the powerful properties of copper, 360-degree flexible mobility, and lightweight, durable construction.
Nothing more painful than having back pains. If you're aching, if you feel like you can't work out anymore, you can. And that's with Copperfit.
Yeah. It's for all of us who still want to be active, still want to compete.
Way to go. That's what I'm talking about. Man, this really does feel good. It feels to me like the fountain of youth.
Copperfit's best-selling back support just got bigger, badder, and better. Or call 1-800-944-5851. Or on the web at advancedbackpro.com. Get yours now for only $19.99.
This does feel good.
That's what I've been saying.
You think it was fair?
It was fun.
Play for the love of the game.
Copperfit, live limitless.
Windshields are impossible to clean, and a dirty windshield can be downright dangerous. Introducing the Hurricane Windshield Wizard, the one tool that reaches and cleans for you. It uses the power of microfiber with a pivoting head to make cleaning windshields quick and easy. The specially designed ergonomic handle fills with tap water and dispenses at the touch of a button, so you can clean in seconds without straining. And it folds away for space-saving storage. Order now and get the Hurricane Windshield Wizard with free extra bonnet for just $19.99. But order now and you can double the offer. Plus, you can also get the Battle Visor, the visor that blocks the harsh glaring sun and keeps you safe on the road. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll ship everything to you for free. That means you can get all this and free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-474-7530 or visit GetWindshieldWizard.com. So call 1-800-474-7530 now.
Well, we've been talking quite a bit about the debate, so I wanted to bring in a friend of mine who I know watched the debate. I actually saw a picture of him standing in front of the TV, intently watching this debate. So that's why I thought he'd be a good person to bring on, Chad Prather from the Chad Prather Show. Chad, I know you watched it. I know that it was a big deal for you. A lot of people have said that it was a bit chaotic. What are your feelings on this debate?
Tudor, it's good to see you, and thanks for having me on. First of all, I thought the debate was great for several reasons. People had to tell me that it was a bad debate. I thought everything was going great, until afterwards, and everybody started commenting saying they had a problem with it. I'll tell you how intensely I was listening to the debate. I had one of my sponsors, MyBookie, cheap little plug there. They had prop bets on different things that could take place during the debate, and I had placed about 10 bets on the debate. Certain things like, would they walk to the podium wearing a mask? Would Donald Trump be wearing a red tie? Would Joe Biden be wearing a blue tie? Would they say Amy Coney Barrett first or Ruth Bader Ginsburg first? Would they say Portland more than 2.5 times? Would they say, or Seattle, I'm sorry, would they say Portland more than 6.5 times? Would they talk about constitutional duty or constitutional crisis? So I was intensely watching this thing, and the picture you saw, I was pretty excited in the moment. So I had to do something because everybody wanted to make the debate into a drinking game, and I just knew there was no way I was going to last for something like that.
So I actually want to play a little bit of a game with you, and it's between Republicans and Democrats, and I'm calling it, can you spot the double standard? So we have Catholicism. Catholicism is now a problem I'm sure you've heard this because Amy Coney Barrett is Catholic, but Joe Biden, he's also a Catholic. So that seems a little bit like a double standard. And then we also have adoption. Adoption now, white people adopting black people could be considered not okay unless you're in Hollywood, because it seems like it's okay if you're in Hollywood. But then the final double standard is one that I think that you'll find interesting, because I know that you hate anything that has to do with sex trafficking. And I know that the administration has worked hard to stop sex trafficking, and Ivanka Trump, the daughter of the president, has worked hard to stop sex trafficking. But Hunter Biden pays sex traffickers. So we've just recently found that out, that he is involved with sex trafficking, and also he gets paid by the Russians. So Russia is a huge deal, but he gets paid by the Russians. This is not something that has come out on the mainstream media, what has happened with Hunter Biden. In fact, the president got yelled at by mainstream media for bringing up the sons at all, because Joe Biden has Beau Biden, who obviously died of cancer. A very, very tragic story. But how do we look past the fact that Hunter Biden is involved with very, very scandalous things, including getting money from Russia?
Yeah, you can't look past it. You have to bring it up. Look, let's face it. For the last 4.5, 5 years, Donald Trump's children have been brought into the spotlight. They have been made to be involved, although they have voluntarily involved themselves in their father's campaign and in his presidency. They've been scrutinized. They've been accused, all of these different things. You recall the whole debacle of Don Trump Jr. supposedly meeting with the lawyer from Russia in a hotel. That was a major issue in their mind. So now to bring up Hunter Biden seems to be off limits. I like your list of ironies there, your list of contradictions. And it is interesting to see how what's good enough for me is not good enough for thee, and how the persecution comes down. You take Amy Coney Barrett. She, in a normal, sane world, would be the absolute perfect pick as a nominee for the Supreme Court. She would be perfect. She would be untouchable. She's absolutely flawless in every way. And I remind everybody that Nancy Pelosi is also a supposed practicing Catholic, when she says, "I pray for the president every single day. I just pray for this president." So she got pretty irate whenever someone accused her of not having faith. And she reminded everybody what a good Catholic she is. And let's face it, the woman's a drunk. But that's beside the point. Most Catholics are. I kid, Tudor. But let's talk about some of these contradictions, such as the sex trafficking. No president has done as much as Donald Trump for the issues such as sex trafficking and bringing it to the limelight. Never before have we talked about the pedophilia that's out there, the activity that's going on, and a lot of it happening right under our noses, the accusations and the revelations when it comes to Hollywood. And so when you see an issue like Hunter Biden, who obviously has not only received millions of dollars from Russian officials, or at least their wives, but is actively engaged in prostitution and apparently sex trafficking as well. This is horrendous stuff. And the amazing thing, what makes it horrendous, is when Joe Biden, who is the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, comes out and says he doesn't know anything about any of that. How does he not know? I mean, if my son went to China and came home with $1.5 billion, or if my son was on a board like Burisma when he had no experience in oil and gas overseas in the Ukraine and was making money from these things, I think I would know about it, And, here's a guy like Hunter who is very cosmopolitan. He's all over the country. He's got a baby from a girl in Arkansas who calls herself Dallas, who was a stripper in Washington, D.C. So he's crisscrossing the country with one person. And you notice that whenever Joe Biden plays a commercial, a campaign commercial talking about family, Hunter is nowhere to be found, ever. This supposed illegitimate grandchild is never mentioned. He never brings any of that up. And so Trump was right. I felt like Trump should have hit harder on Hunter Biden, because at the end of the day, it reveals the untruths and the deception that's going on in the Biden family.
Yeah, the illegitimate child has never been brought up, but never met, even by Hunter. Hunter has never met his child. So this is the kind of family values that we have. You have a child he denied at first, then got into a large paternity suit, ended up disclosing that he is worth $156 million. That alone should have the American people saying, how did that happen? He went from getting kicked out of the military, a drug addict, to suddenly, I'm all for recovering addicts and making sure that people can get well, but you go from that to $156 million in the bank seems a little bit fishy. We're gonna have to take a break in about a minute. I wanna get into the white supremacy stuff because obviously the president's been hit hard on white supremacy. Really quick before we go to break, I wanna ask you, what do you think about the fact that they didn't hit hard on Antifa with Joe Biden?
Yeah, and they never will. They never will. It was a perfect opportunity for someone to turn the tables on Joe. This was a disappointing point in the debate, mostly because of the reason they could have turned the tables on Joe and said, okay, now it's your turn to denounce BLM and denounce Antifa. He would never, ever do that, especially on that stage.
No, he didn't do that on the stage. He said it was an idea, not an organization. And meanwhile, you have Kamala Harris, who has gone out on several news stations now and said that these protests and riots are essential to change the country, that this has to happen. These are the people burning down the businesses. This is what the president came out and said. Well, these guys aren't burning down the businesses. What about that? No response. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Chad Prather.
The hottest new razor is taking the men's grooming world by storm. And if you don't have it, you need it. Micro Touch Solo, the hyper-advanced full-body razor that trims, shapes, edges, and even shaves with micro precision. And it's totally safe to the touch. Go solo for full body control with one tool. No nicks, bumps, or ingrown hairs. Edge beards and goatees with one touch. Clean your neck, barber shop perfect. And check this out. Snap on the guide to tame growth and perfectly shape your full beard. And keep new growth stubble trimmed exactly to your style. And look, the Solo Full Body Groomer trims precisely the length of hair you want. Snap off the guide and remove unwanted hair anywhere in seconds. What makes Solo different than your ordinary razor? Dual-sided German stainless steel blade. Shave up or down at 200 microstrokes per second. The Ultra Flex pivoting head contours perfectly to you for precise results. 3 custom grooming guides for control of exact length and shape. And a built-in LED light so you never miss a spot. Solo is so precise, you need no creams, no soaps, and no water. Ditch the old man clippers and toss the scissors. You've got to go solo. Call 1-800-709-9777 or go online at microtouchsolo.com and get yours now for only $19.99. Complete with German stainless steel blade, pivoting head, built-in spotlight, and 3 custom grooming guides. Everything you see here for just $19.99. The all-new Micro Touch Solo Full Body Groomer. The one tool that does it all.
Frustrated with heavy rubber hoses that always get tangled and easily kink? Introducing the Bionic Flex Pro hose, the super strong, super tough hose that's ultra light as well. Run over an ordinary hose and it'll easily burst, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose stays intact no matter what runs over it, because its reinforced drag-resistant commercial-grade outer polyester weave makes it tougher and stronger than ever. And its solid brass fittings are crush-proof too. Ordinary hoses kink easily and stop working, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose never kinks. It just keeps flowing strong. And while regular hoses easily get tangled, the Bionic Flex Pro hose is tangle-proof. You can get the 25-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose for just $19.95 with free shipping. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade your order to a 50-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose. Just pay a separate fee, and shipping is still free. Go now.
Call 1-800-313-8062.
I still have Chad Prather with me, the host of the Chad Prather Show, and I want to talk more about white supremacy. We were talking about this just before the break, and not getting called out for Antifa. Antifa has gone around and burned down buildings. Also, there was no discussion of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter has, I mean, if you even read what their organization is about, it's about getting rid of the nuclear family, there's never a mention of black men or men at all on their website. It's all about women getting rid of men. I mean, it's just shocking, but now they're going around and they're burning down the entire country. No talk of that in the debates, but today the word on the streets is that the president will not condemn white supremacy. In fact, he's dog whistling to them. What's your response?
Well, when asked the question that Chris Wallace asked was a terrible, terrible question. And I don't know how many people have really unpacked that themselves. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of commentators on the conservative side say this. But when he asked the question, I immediately said it's not a legitimate question because he lumped in white supremacists with militia groups. That's not fair because there's two different things. You bring up the Proud Boys as happened in the debate stage. Well, the Proud Boys has a leader that is Cuban American. He's not a white guy. There's plenty of African Americans. There's plenty of blacks that are members, plenty of Hispanics that are members, people from other countries who have migrated here and become citizens that are members of the Proud Boys. So to use them and say, well, the Proud Boys are a white supremacy group, that's not fair to lump them in with that. They're not. They're simply not. One of their major tenets is that they don't condone racism in any form. So the president, when asked the question, he said sure 3 times. When they said, would you denounce white supremacy? He said sure 3 times. And finally, he's tired of being asked the question because you can go all the way back his entire presidency, even his candidacy, where he has very clearly come out and said that he does not condone it. He condemns it. He even made the KKK and a domestic terrorist organization just last week. He's suggested he's proposed for lynching to become a hate crime. What more can this president do to prove? He's just a terrible racist. If that's what he is, he's a terrible racist. And I have people all the time who want to bring up this white supremacy thing. If you took every white supremacist that's in the country right now, you might have 6,500 people out of 330 million. They're not the ones who are on the street burning things down. You have Antifa. You have BLM. I was at the the president's Tulsa rally there in Oklahoma. They had a BLM protest. There were several hundred that were marching down the street. I saw one black person. Historically, whenever there was a riot, blacks would burn down black communities. Now you have these privileged, self-flagellating, guilty white people who are going into black communities in the name of protest, rioting, and burning down black communities. They're the real racists. They're the problem. And so, if you said to me in the middle of a hurricane, forest fires are bad, I would agree with you. But right now, we're worried about the hurricane and the floods that are coming from it. Yes, forest fires are bad, but the forest fire is not the problem we're in right now. The problem we're in right now has nothing to do with white supremacy and everything to do with trained Marxists, admittedly and avowed trained Marxists that run BLM, who want to kill the nuclear family in the black community and want complete anarchy. And then these folks that are fascists, calling themselves anti-fascists in Antifa, they must be denounced. They're creating more and more problems, and I keep telling people the hills have eyes. There's a lot of patriots out there who are ready to kick some ideas around. If Antifa is just an idea, well, there's some ideas that are about to get kicked around, because I've never known of an idea to swarm a vehicle and pull somebody out of it and beat them mercilessly and put them in a coma for weeks at a time. Ideas don't do that, but organized people do, and that's what we're facing with Antifa as well as BLM.
Absolutely. So we have just over a minute left here. I want to talk to you about health care, because we're hearing that if Amy Coney Barrett gets on to the Supreme Court, that health care is a threat. It's threatened. She's going to get rid of Obamacare. This is what the left is telling people. And they're ruling people by fear. But why isn't the president coming out and talking guns, speech, and religious protection? Why isn't he saying, if this man becomes president and packs the court, your rights are gone?
I wish during the debate they could have had an opportunity to talk more on policy. They obviously did not. That was one disappointing thing for me. It is something that needs to be discussed. And I'd remind everybody that health issues such as Roe v. Wade, and I keep hearing that brought up with this nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, that ultimately is not constitutional, and it would ultimately go to the states, as it should, for the states to regulate how they handle the abortion industry within their confines. So Amy Coney Barrett and this idea that Obamacare is going to go away, I say good. We need health care reform. Obamacare is not it. It can't expand to anything except single-payer system, and that's not good for the country. We do need a free health care market, but we do need health care reform, and I hope they do come out very strongly with a plan, because they didn't once Trump was elected, and they should have. They had 8 years to do it, but they were so convinced Hillary Clinton was going to get elected that the Republicans in Congress and the Senate didn't have another plan instead of Obamacare. They got to come up with something.
He was asked about his plan. People are anxious to hear his plan. Tell our audience where they can find you, where they can follow you, and where they can hear your show.
The easiest place to find me is watchchad.com. And of course, folks can join us on politicalcowboy.com for our daily news articles. But watchchad.com has everything. We also have the #1 comedy album in America right now. It's called Y'all Shut Up, something I don't know how to do.
That I will give you. That is a fact. But that's why we love having you on. You do talk. We love to hear you. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Chad. We'll have you back sometime. Chad is a funny man. He's always out there touring, but he is very serious too, and he definitely knows his stuff when it comes to politics. That's why we love having him on the show. Stay tuned.
Pain, swelling, stiffness. When your hands hurt, you can't function. Until now. Introducing the new Copperfit compression gloves with sure grip technology to give you more power, more control, and more agility than ever. Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric woven into an ultra-lightweight performance glove that fits like a second skin to support relief and recovery of sore muscles and painful joint stiffness. And new sure grip bands built in to provide a strong, non-slip grip for more power and control.
You need total control of your hands when you're doing anything with construction. Your hands are your livelihood. The Copperfit gloves are great. The grip is outstanding here with these different ribs. It makes my hand a lot more usable. It just feels like you're just ready to start the job.
The gloves have been a game changer for me. They help with flexibility and pain and soreness. They allow me to do my job even better.
Breathable wicking fabric with an open finger design for full range of motion, feel, and control.
They relieve my pain. When I grab something, I'm not in pain. The support or whatever magic these things do, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter to me what it is, it works.
I get a lot of pain, and it can make it difficult to do the smallest thing. While I'm wearing this, I do not have any pain. I can use it on the keyboard, I can use my phone, I drive with it, I sleep with it. I love this glove.
The new Copperfit compression gloves with sure grip technology. Relief from painful muscle and joint soreness. Guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-984-5571 or on the web at getcopperfitgloves.com for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
I've tried it, I use it, I know it works.
Copperfit gloves definitely just make my life better.
I've used Copperfit before. This has helped my hands so much. These things work.
Feel better with copper-infused compression. Ask for it by name. Copperfit compression gloves.
I'm Nick Bolton, and these days...
Hey there.
Hey there. It seems everybody has a pair of tactical sunglasses.
Good morning.
Morning. But what if you already wear glasses? Then you need these Up Tac Glasses. These new glasses fit right over your existing eyewear to give you all the benefits of our tack glasses while you comfortably wear your regular glasses. Plus, like all tack glasses, Up Tac Glasses feature Bell & Howell light filtering technology that makes invisible objects suddenly become visible. There's just nothing like them on the market today. Here you go, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Act now to get your Up Tac Glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship them to you free. But wait, order today and you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-284-4127 or go to flipupglasses.com. That's 1-800-284-4127 or order online at flipupglasses.com.
President Trump ran on being tough on China. He's talked about it his entire presidency. He's worked hard to put sanctions on China to make sure China was no longer taking advantage of the United States. And some folks are concerned about how Joe Biden would work with China. He's been known in the past to be very close and defensive of China. We also know that the NBA has come out and defended China. Many celebrities are defending China. In fact, Disney even worked hand in hand with the Chinese officials who are hurting the Uyghur people. So a lot of people out there defending China, but we have our own Carrie Sheffield from Just the News out in our DC studios with a special report on this very subject. Carrie?
Hello there, Tudor. I want to let the viewers know about an exclusive interview that I had with Jimmy Lai. Jimmy Lai is a famous media mogul. He's an activist. He's a billionaire. And he's also been arrested by the Chinese authorities multiple times for his work fighting for democracy activists in Hong Kong. Now, he, in a secure Zoom conversation, spoke to me for about half an hour. We talked about a range of topics. And one that I think is important here in this political climate is his thoughts on Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Now, on our website, on justthenews.com, I've got a piece up about this. Basically, the president, according to Jimmy Lai, the freedom activist in Hong Kong, is a much better defender for these democracy fighters in Hong Kong compared to Joe Biden. Now, Jimmy Lai says that he thinks that Joe Biden would play, as his word, too gentlemanly with China, when what the United States needs, according to Jimmy Lai, is a much more robust, a strong response against China, in particular the Chinese Communist Party, of which Jimmy Lai is a vocal critic. Now, Jimmy Lai is a media mogul. As I said, he owns a newspaper called Apple Daily. And Apple Daily is not afraid to take on the Communist Party of China. And this is why Jimmy Lai has landed in hot water. That, and he's also paying the bail and tuition and support for many of these student activists that we're seeing on camera in Hong Kong who are being thrown into jail. Jimmy Lai is unabashed in supporting these activists. And he said also that Biden, when you look at what he did while he was vice president, he didn't stand up to China, and in many respects, in his view, kind of paved the way for what's happened with the coronavirus. And he called the coronavirus, in his words, a Pearl Harbor moment for the United States. And he said by that, he believes it's a wake-up call to the West. It's a wake-up call not only to the United States, but also to Europe. And we talked about in Europe how the UK, France, and Germany have all spoken out most recently, just within the last couple of weeks, against China and what they've been doing in the South China Sea. And Jimmy said he believes this is in part because Trump has led the way against the aggression of China, not only in the South China Sea, but around the globe. So again, go to justthenews.com, see this exclusive interview with Jimmy Lai, see what he had to say about U.S. politics.
Thank you, Carrie, for that report. Definitely go to justthenews.com and check that out. We also did hear a little bit about China in the debate between Joe Biden and President Trump. I want to play that for you now.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. His trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit
China
with Mexico.
China ate your lunch, down 18%. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars.
Again, that is a strong point there with Hunter Biden, Jessica. And that was one of the things that Breitbart fact-checked. They said, actually, the deficit with China is lower than it was in 2009. So that was also something that he threw out there that was not true. But he does have a reputation for being a little too close to China. Joe Biden does.
It's very true that what President Trump said at the debates, that China did eat Biden's lunch. He also ate Obama's for 8 years, and it was very obvious because we were not independent from China, and it is coming out that the Bidens actually were lining their pockets with God knows how many other people in Washington who were lining their pockets with China, and maybe that's why they're so against us becoming independent from them. But stay with us. We have much more coming up here after the break.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus, it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
Windshields are impossible to clean, and a dirty windshield can be downright dangerous. Introducing the Hurricane Windshield Wizard, the one tool that reaches and cleans for you. It uses the power of microfiber with a pivoting head to make cleaning windshields quick and easy. The specially designed ergonomic handle fills with tap water and dispenses at the touch of a button, so you can clean in seconds without straining. And it folds away for space-saving storage. Order now and get the Hurricane Windshield Wizard with free extra bonnet for just $19.99. But order now and you can double the offer. Plus, you can also get the Battle Visor, the visor that blocks the harsh glaring sun and keeps you safe on the road. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll ship everything to you for free. That means you can get all this and free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-474-7530 or visit GetWindshieldWizard.com. So call 1-800-474-7530 now.
You're watching America's Voice Live on this Thursday, the first day of October 2020. I'm Tudor Dixon here with Jessica Rivera. Steve Gruber is off today. And I still can't believe it's the first day of October. I know that 3rd of November is right around the corner, but Jessica, as I've been saying, I don't think that 3rd of November is going to be the end of all of this election stuff. But in the meantime, let's look at today's big news headlines. Many say Tuesday night's debate was chaotic, which has led the commission in presidential debates to announce that they will be changing the rules, and they say that's non-negotiable. A new stimulus bill did not get signed in time, and now airlines are facing layoffs, and hearings continue on Capitol Hill with James Comey getting the tough questions so tough he's having trouble remembering. But first, let's show you the media's reaction to the debate, also Trump and Biden, which may be why there's so much pressure on the debate commission to change the rules. Here it is.
And the president, I don't know if Joe Biden won the debate per se. He had some nice moments, but I thought he was kind of flat.
I just want to give voice to what is probably an elephant in the room for those of you who have moderated debates. Chris Wallace did not act as a moderator. Donald Trump did not act as a debater. Yeah. Donald Trump was the abuser, and Chris Wallace was among the abused.
I thought that Joe wasn't sharp, and the president, I thought, was so forceful at times that I thought he was going to try and eat Joe Biden literally on the stage there.
The verdict is in, and they say that we, all of us, won big last night.
Look, I thought it was embarrassing for the country the way the president acted, for the rest of the world watching this.
Jessica, you saw on MSNBC the woman who said that he was the abuser. That actually is a common theme I'm seeing on social media today, which I'm a little bit surprised by. This was a debate. We expected it to be somewhat of an argument. My daughter asked, what is a debate? And I said, it's sort of like a civilized argument. You're going back and forth with facts and disagreements, but it maybe was not as civilized as we're used to. But that seems to be what I'm hearing, is a lot of women coming forward and saying, obviously, these are folks on the left who are coming out and saying, oh, well, this is exactly why he's abusive to women. Now, that's the first I've ever heard that about this president. But I think that the debate or the election is at the point where it's getting so ugly that folks will use anything. But this has convinced the Commission on Presidential Debates to say they're going to announce new measures that are going to help with maintaining order. They are talking about controlling the candidates' microphones. That's at the top of the list. And both teams were told whatever they decide, if they decide to control the microphone, which means, so the president or the former vice president could be muted at any time, not allowing them to get those jabs in or those facts, because, the president is kind of famous for pointing out things when, I mean, Joe Biden, even in his debate, in this last debate on Tuesday, he said, he was making a point, number one, and the president is talking over him. He goes through his first point. He says number two, doesn't make a point. He goes on to number three, and the president stops and says, Joe, you are on number two. Those moments will not happen if they mute the microphone. That's their plan. And they're also saying non-negotiable. They will not talk to either campaign about this. Once they decide what the rules are, the two candidates will just have to deal.
And Tudor, that's the thing. They agreed, both campaigns have agreed early on, but they agreed to prior terms. So what I'm hearing is that if these changes do take place, they're not necessarily in that same agreement. And so we'll have to see what pushes through. But it doesn't surprise me that the left has used words like the abuser or bullying, because they usually take these very strong words that have deep, deep meaning. And they desensitize them because they give them their own definitions depending on what they feel that day. And it's very sad, because for people who are truly abused and have been victims of violence, it's got to be very irritating, because this was not abusive in any shape or form when you are agreeing to put yourself out there in the public and you're running for public office. People want you to be scrutinized so that you can give your answers as to what's happening. And I don't know about you, Tudor, but I thought that there was going to be a live fact checker there that maybe I misunderstood, but I thought that there was somebody who was going to be there as a third party to fact check and to kind of call both of them out in real time, but it doesn't seem like that happened. So maybe that'll be something else that they make sure that they have at the next debates. But Tudor, United and American Airlines are furloughing more than 32,000 employees, and they're citing no more money for payroll after today, which is the end date for the Federal CARES Act payroll support program. United is furloughing 13,000 and American is furloughing 19,000 employees. American Airlines spoke with Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, and the Secretary says he met with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi yesterday, and there's no deal, but they continue to negotiate on a bipartisan COVID-19 relief package that would extend the payroll support program, and if a deal is made soon enough, 32,000 airline employees may not have to be furloughed indefinitely. But Tudor, after reading this and seeing this news this morning, I thought to myself, I really hope these CEOs of these airlines and many of these countries who took billions of dollars in bailout money from the government, I really hope that they have their ducks in a row, because after the pandemic, I think a lot of people are going to be asking lots of questions on, did these CEOs take cuts that they should have taken? What were those cuts? How much were they getting paid while their people were out, destitute, many of them? And did they take any bonuses or do any things in the stocks that they shouldn't have done? So we'll have to see when all this ends, Tudor. It's just, I really, really hope that they understand that that's probably going to come back to bite them if they are not protected and they haven't done the right thing with the money.
Right, absolutely. I want to go back to something you said about the fact checkers. That was Joe Biden who requested the fact checker. Now, we know that the media always fact checks the president, so anything that they think he said wrong, they immediately came out with. Now, Breitbart News actually fact-checked the vice president, and one of the things that we were just talking about is him saying that we had the biggest deficit with China we've ever had. Not true. They said no, it's lower. It's lowest it's been since 2009. So there were plenty of other things that had to be fact-checked for the vice president, but he was actually the one asking for a fact checker, which I think is interesting. Now, I do want to say we have James Comey on Capitol Hill. He is being questioned and giving his testimony on that Mueller report. Now, we are hearing that U.S. District Judge Reggie Walton has now ruled the Justice Department has failed to justify some redactions in the report, and he's ordering the Justice Department to release the shielded information. It's very interesting. He's asking for this because he says he wants the unsealed detail because he wants to see the thought process over why certain people were charged with crimes during the nearly 2-year investigation. We know that we have the situation with Michael Flynn. You know, there were many people who were investigated, but obviously General Flynn was the worst case scenario. It's coming to light that they really had no evidence against him. Sidney Powell, his attorney, has released all of this information. Really, we've been finding more and more out about the Russia investigation from the General Flynn investigation that Sidney Powell is running just to try to defend her own client. But all of this information has come out along with the stunning report from the Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, this new letter that he sent saying that the whole Russia thing started with Hillary Clinton's campaign. Obviously, this is all coming to light. Perhaps this is our October surprise, Jessica.
I don't know, but what I say is put it all out there. If there was nothing that you were trying to hide, show us the unredacted information because, like you said, people's lives have been destroyed throughout this investigation. And keep it here. We have much more coming up after the break.
Tired of struggling with regular mirrors that don't adjust so you can't get close enough? Need both hands but you don't have a stand? Can't move in the right direction to see your own reflection? You need Flexible Mirror, the bendable, light-up magnification mirror that comes to you. Watch. Just stick it on and turn the base. The super suction locking mechanism means you can put it on any smooth surfaced place, horizontal or vertical. Lock it onto any mirror, table, or desk. Use it in the shower, even on a window. The secret is Flexible Mirror's super strong articulating arm that's attached with an ingenious ball and socket so it can swivel and rotate for the perfect angle. And look how strong it holds. The mirror is precision crafted with 10 times magnification and crystal clear optics. And with a soft glow LED ring, you'll get picture-perfect lighting to highlight every detail. Flexible Mirror makes shaving, applying makeup, hairstyling, grooming, and accessorizing easier than ever before. Plus, men, listen up. The 10 times magnification makes it perfect for giving your beard a detailed trim. Whatever you need to do, Flexible Mirror comes to you. Plus, the contemporary chrome accents add a lovely modern touch to any room. Stop struggling to put in your delicate contacts and let Flexible Mirror come to you, so it's much easier to do. Similar mirrors can cost as much as $100 and they don't even come to you. But you can get Flexible Mirror for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. We guarantee you'll love the Flexible Mirror so much that it comes with our 90-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. And here's the best part, we give you free shipping on your entire order. That's right, free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-987-6183. That's 1-800-987-6183 or order online at tryflexiblemirror.com.
Frustrated with heavy rubber hoses that always get tangled and easily kink? Introducing the Bionic Flex Pro hose, the super strong, super tough hose that's ultra light as well. Run over an ordinary hose and it'll easily burst, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose stays intact no matter what runs over it, because its reinforced drag-resistant commercial-grade outer polyester weave makes it tougher and stronger than ever. And its solid brass fittings are crush-proof too. Ordinary hoses kink easily and stop working, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose never kinks. It just keeps flowing strong. And while regular hoses easily get tangled, the Bionic Flex Pro hose is tangle-proof. You can get the 25-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose for just $19.95 with free shipping. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade your order to a 50-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose. Just pay a separate fee, and shipping is still free. Go now.
Call 1-800-313-8062.
Welcome back to America's Voice Live. I'm Jessica Rivera in for Steve Groomer. And our next guest is the president of ConstitutionalRightsPac.com. His name is Larry Ward. Welcome, Larry, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, so Larry, let's start off with your PAC. Tell our viewers a little bit about it.
We're a PAC that supports constitutional rights as enshrined in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States. We fight for constitutional rights when they're being infringed, by the government, or they're being infringed by corporate America. We recently ran a campaign to stand with Tucker Carlson and got 200,000 signatures against cancel culture. So we either fight on the issues, or we fight to elect candidates that support the issues.
And Larry, you and your PAC have a new ad out. It's quite entertaining, and I want to play it for our viewers in case they haven't seen it. Just a quick snippet of it.
Great.
There's a hatred in your eyes all the way. Without remorse, tell your lies in every way. You're a commie without conviction. You're a commie who doesn't know how to stop the re-election of President Trump. President Trump.
Well, Larry, I have to say, you guys picked a really great song, because who wouldn't love that song from the 80s? That was what got my attention. I absolutely love that song. But first of all, is that you singing? I have to ask. It probably isn't, but I wanted to know. And then also, I want to know, how does an ad like this come about, specifically this one?
Well, it's not me singing. I wish I had that voice. Our musician who is afraid of cancel culture, believe it or not, doesn't want to come forward. But he did a great job on the song, and truly, did good by Boy George. The song, when Kamala Harris decided to run for office, the song stuck in my head. I kept saying Kamala Chameleon. And the reason I kept saying it was because that's who she is. She's a chameleon. While she was Attorney General of California, she basically used inmates, according to the Daily Beast, as cheap labor. Then she comes out and starts running for president and starts running on criminal justice reform. It's quite a chameleon act that she's got going, and quite frankly, she is the most liberal member of Congress, most liberal member of the U.S. Senate this year and last year, and quite frankly, she is a commie.
Well, Larry, I have to say, you couldn't let it pass you by, I guess, if you already had the little jingle in your head, and it seems like you guys may have a PAC hit there. But so your thoughts, just this Tuesday, we had the first presidential debates of 2020. So I want to get your thoughts on what you thought about the debates.
Well, look, I think Trump absolutely trounced in the debates, and a lot of other people will look at the debates and said, well, he was interrupting too much, and he didn't let Biden fall on his face, and all of this other stuff. I think Trump did exactly what he wanted to do. He knew he was going to go against not only Biden but also the moderator, Chris Wallace, and it was Chris Wallace was there to pick up Biden and make sure that he actually made it to the finish line, and Trump did what he was supposed to do. He went on the attack, and he got his points across. Look, at the end of the day, the memorable moments for Biden were when he said, "Shut up, man. You're a clown. You're a liar. You're a racist." I don't think the American people want their presidential debates in the gutter that way. And the memorable moments for Trump were about Hunter Biden and the $365 million payment from the Moscow mayor. And that's what people were going to be Googling after the election, after the debate.
And Larry, what are your thoughts on the chances, on the changes? We don't know if they're for sure yet for the next presidential debates in a couple weeks. They say that they're going to implement some new changes so that the moderators have a little bit more control over the debate and the conversation. What are your thoughts on those, and what are your thoughts on the next moderator for the presidential debate? Actually, people are finding out, and it's not that hard to find out, which is interesting, that he actually used to worked on a former Biden campaign.
Well, I mean, that's exactly the problem. The mainstream media is the mainstream media. And if they really want to have control over the debate, try being fair. Try asking tough questions to both candidates and seeing how they answer. Try not just interrupting the president and scolding the president for interrupting, but try being fair and scolding both sides. Maybe you'll get a different result. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to try and put the hammer down. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're not going to be able to control Trump. Trump is who he is. And if he's got to be a bull in a china shop, that's what he's got to be to get his points across.
And Larry, what they're actually talking about is possibly being able to mute the mics at this point. But I don't know. We haven't heard if that's a for sure thing and if either campaign will agree to the new terms. But Larry, I also want to ask you, what are your expectations for the next Wednesday? It will be the first and only vice presidential debate of 2020. What are your expectations for next Wednesday?
Here's my expectations. Mike Pence is going to be, he's going to be himself. Which is a very nice, down-to-earth, genuine Midwestern guy. And Kamala Harris is going to try to beat Trump. And she's going to try and beat up Mike Pence. And she is going to make a sympathetic character out of Mike Pence. And she's not going to be able to help herself. So I don't even care if she hears this interview. That's what she's going to do. And Mike Pence is going to be better on policy. He's going to be better on the issues. And he's going to come across like a genuine good person that he is.
And it's going to be hard for him to come off any other way because our vice president, he's just so calm and demure and so well-spoken. So we look forward to hearing those debates next Wednesday. Thank you, Larry, for joining us today on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, and stay with us here on America's Voice Live. We have much more coming up after the break. Keep it here.
Brett Favre, legendary quarterback. Jerry Rice, legendary wide receiver.
You ready for your weekly meeting?
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's do this.
Let's stack the deck.
When legends play, they wear Copperfit Advanced Back Pro. Copperfit's best-selling compression back support just got better with new double-band adjustable supports for customizable compression when you need it most.
Since I put this on, I feel so much better. The core is the most important thing. To know that I'm stabilized here. Whatever I'm doing, I can give it 100%.
4 built-in stabilizing supports designed to improve posture and help reduce lower back stress and strain.
You have back pain and it's affecting your everyday life. You do something.
If you can find something to help you get back out and be active like Copperfit, go for it.
Absolutely.
Do not give up. A high-performance compression fabric infused with the powerful properties of copper, 360-degree flexible mobility, and lightweight, durable construction.
Nothing more painful than having back pains. If you're aching, if you feel like you can't work out anymore, you can. And that's with Copperfit.
Yeah. It's for all of us who still want to be active, still want to compete.
Way to go. That's what I'm talking about. Man, this really does feel good. It feels to me like the fountain of youth.
Copperfit's best-selling back support just got bigger, badder, and better. Or call 1-800-944-5851. Or on the web at advancedbackpro.com. Get yours now for only $19.99.
This does feel good.
That's what I've been saying.
You think it was fair?
It was fun.
Play for the love of the game.
Copperfit, live limitless.
I'm Nick Bolton, and these days...
Hey there.
Hey there. It seems everybody has a pair of tactical sunglasses.
Good morning.
Morning. But what if you already wear glasses? Then you need these Flip Up Tac Glasses. These new glasses fit right over your existing eyewear to give you all the benefits of our Tac glasses while you comfortably wear your regular glasses. Plus, like all Tac glasses, flip-up Tac glasses feature Bell & Howell light filtering technology that makes invisible objects suddenly become visible. There's just nothing like them on the market today. Here you go, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Act now to get your flip-up Tac glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship them to you free. But wait, order today and you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-284-4127 or go to flipupglasses.com. That's 1-800-284-4127 or order online at flipupglasses.com.
Welcome back to America's Voice Live. Tudor Los Angeles sheriffs have officially filed charges in the ambush shooting of 2 officers last month.
Today, homicide detectives are filing charges against 36-year-old Deontay Lee Murray with Crimes Against Peace Officers section of the District Attorney's Office. Deontay Murray is a Compton resident with a criminal history which includes felony convictions for sales and possession of narcotics, 2 separate convictions for firearm possession by a felon or addict, receiving stolen property, burglary, and terrorist threats.
Murray has been charged with attempted murder, as you heard the officials there in Los Angeles, in the shooting of 2 officers who were shot in the face and head while they sat in their patrol car in Compton, California last month. And according to officials, Murray has been charged with other violent crimes in the past and is possibly gang affiliated. Murray was taken into custody after a standoff with police. Both injured officers are expected to make full recoveries and are home. Tudor?
Not a nice guy, carjacked someone, shot them in the leg, shot the 2 police officers. This is obviously someone who has little regard for human life. It's very sad. But another situation that is also a difficult one to hear. A Milwaukee shooting. 7 people were walking into a funeral for another young person who had been shot and killed when they had a drive-by shooting. Someone drove past, shot them. They were all in their 20s, I believe. And the acting Milwaukee police chief, Michael Brunson, said this: "It's an example of the insanity we are seeing with the amount of guns, particularly illegal guns we are seeing in the city of Milwaukee. The insanity of people solving their problems with guns. It's just completely insane, and we're seeing way too much of it in this community." Jessica, it's something that we keep seeing over and over again this year. The number of murders are up greatly. We look at Chicago, murder is up over 50%, and this is in a city where murder was already too high. Now we're seeing this at a funeral in Milwaukee. It is really shocking what we've seen, and it continues to happen in Democrat-led cities, Jessica.
Yeah, and Tudor, 50 people were shot over the weekend in Chicago, with 9 dying in the wake of continuous violence that continues to plague the city. And a woman in Chicago is also charged with first-degree murder after stabbing her 5-year-old daughter to death. Simone Austin is being held without bond. And Tudor, the number of people shot and killed in Chicago, that number that I gave you are not the numbers. Those are only the numbers of gun violence that weekend, and does not include people who were killed with knives, and there are plenty of those. But my question is, where's BLM for the black-on-black violence in Chicago, especially for an innocent 5-year-old child? I don't understand it. It's disheartening, it's saddening, and it's frustrating, because if you stand for something and you say you're a movement, then you should be, this is something that you should come to the table with, and you should start trying to protect the children that are being killed day in and day out in these cities, in these violent cities, by guns, knives, whatever the situation is, who are truly innocent people, have not asked to be here, and are supposed to be trusting the adults, and this is how their lives are ending, and it's just so sad.
And as you said, in Chicago, we're hearing about shootings, but we're not hearing about stabbings. The little girl that you spoke of, 5 years old, was stabbed by her mother. You have to assume that there is some mental illness problems there that weren't taken care of, because as mothers, I know, cannot even imagine that happening. A 20-year-old, her body was found after she had multiple stab wounds. So this is something that the violence in those communities is something that is getting out of hand. Community leaders in those cities, in those areas of the city of Chicago, have come forward and asked to make it a public health crisis. And now I can see where they're coming from, where I'm not a fan of government coming in and taking control of a situation. When you look at what the government did with COVID-19, coming in and saying we're going to be shut down, we're not going to have anybody go out, we're going to protect people at all costs. When you look at these folks who are in this desperate situation, they've said the same thing. If Black Lives Matter, then why aren't we taking care of our own communities? They're asking to treat it as a public health crisis so that you can shut things down, try to get into people's hearts and minds and talk them out of this kind of behavior. Very interesting. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Uh-oh, there you go. Slow slicing fruits, veggies, and those stingy onions that bring you to tears. But not anymore. Introducing Nutrachopper, the compact handheld speed slicer that cuts up to 10 times quicker than a knife. Watch. You can have one slice or 10 perfect slices at once. Amazing! You can just julienne, or you can bundle slice julienne sticks at lightning speed. With Nutrachopper, you can slice the entire onion or mince a mound of onions and never have time for tears. Why slice a single apple wedge when you can wedge it all in one snap? Nutrachopper comes with the razor-sharp interchangeable stainless steel blades you need to make all of the cuts you want, and all incredibly quick. Chop thick slices, chop thin slices, chop cubes, chop sticks, and wedge whole fruits and vegetables in just 1 second. Slice it and cook it right in the pan, right on your stove. Chop and slice right into the pot for a family-sized stew with no mess. Snap and slice a fruit salad for the kids right into the bowl in seconds. Slice up a healthy salad for a quick and easy meal on the go. Cube meats and cheeses quick, in a snap. And Nutrachopper comes with a perfect portion container and fresh-keeping lid so you can slice it, seal it, and store it all in one. To clean, simply rinse or rack it in the dishwasher. Then lock it to store it safely in a drawer. And now the Nutrachopper with the thin slice, thick slice, wedge, and cube blades, and the slice and store container and lid, a value of over $40, is yours for just $19.99. But wait! Order now and we'll even pay the shipping for you. You get the complete Nutrachopper set with blades and container with lids, all for just $19.99 with free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-927-4071 or go online at Nutrachopper.com. That's 1-800-927-4071 or go to Nutrachopper.com. Order now.
Frustrated with heavy rubber hoses that always get tangled and easily kink? Introducing the Bionic Flex Pro hose, the super strong, super tough hose that's ultra light as well. Run over an ordinary hose and it'll easily burst, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose stays intact no matter what runs over it, because its reinforced drag-resistant commercial-grade outer polyester weave makes it tougher and stronger than ever. And its solid brass fittings are crush-proof too. Ordinary hoses kink easily and stop working, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose never kinks. It just keeps flowing strong. And while regular hoses easily get tangled, the Bionic Flex Pro hose is tangle-proof. You can get the 25-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose for just $19.95 with free shipping. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade your order to a 50-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose. Just pay a separate fee, and shipping is still free. Go now.
Call 1-800-313-8062.
You're watching America's Voice Live, and of course that means we like to get the voices of America from across the country, and right now there is a heck of a lot going on in New York, so we're going to bring back Gavin Wax. He is the president of the New York Young Republicans Club. Gavin, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, Tudor. Great to be here.
Absolutely. So we want to ask you, something has been floating around Instagram. There are pictures of piles of trash in New York City. Now, we keep hearing that New Yorkers, de Blasio, Cuomo, well, maybe more Cuomo, is asking people to come back to the city, spend money, vacation, do what typically has been done in New York, but these trash piles are a bit of a deterrent. What's happening?
Well, New York City is one of the only major cities, not only in this country, but in the world, that doesn't require containerization. Containerization means you have to put your trash into containers. Right now, you could just throw loose bags of trash onto the street, and the rats will get to it. People will rip them open for plastic. And that's creating a trash crisis in the city. It's a public health crisis. It's unsanitary. And it just lowers the quality of life. So I don't know why anyone would want to pay to live in this city or come back to the city to heed what Cuomo is asking of them if they're just going to come back to piles of trash on the street on top of, closed restaurants, closed bars, a bad economy, and rising crime. It's not a good combination.
And I know that we're also hearing in New York City, they're starting to impose fines of up to $1,000 for those who refuse to wear masks. And I think de Blasio actually made mention of this. Do we have the soundbite?
Yeah, it's
anyone who is not wearing a face covering will be offered one, will be reminded it is required. And anyone who refuses to wear a face covering will be told that if they don't put one on, they will be fined. And anyone who still refuses will be fined.
Okay, so Gavin, the question is, de Blasio is worried about people wearing a mask, but not the trash that is just thrown around in the streets where the city looks like a dump. Is there something ironic? I mean, this just doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense at all. Political theater, that's all this is. They want to give the appearance of doing something. They want to give the appearance of being tough on fighting back against the coronavirus. But all this is just more onerous government regulation on top of a population of a city that's already been essentially regulated to death. I saw a New York Post article today that said that almost half the businesses, restaurant, hospitality, businesses in the city are going to be closed within the next 6 months. But instead of focusing on fixing our economy and getting New York open again, they're focused on punitive fines for people who may not be wearing a mask when they're on an empty street, out in the open, fresh air. It's absolutely ridiculous. Take care of the trash. If anything, there's a public health crisis is in the trash overflowing on our streets.
So when it comes to these masks, I want to say you're pointing out that New York is still closed down. They're just opening restaurants to 25% capacity, but pretty much things have been closed down. Now they're saying, well, there's an uptick in COVID cases. That's because people are refusing to wear masks. But you're pointing out that this is really just people walking in the street, which would mean that people in businesses and people who are able to go into stores are wearing masks. I believe that is the law in New York City. So I would suspect that there are very few people getting away with not wearing masks. So my concern is if this is happening in New York, if we have these massive shutdowns, nobody's going to theaters, there's no Broadway, none of that is open, and people are wearing masks when they go into stores and COVID cases are going up, do masks work?
Well, the science is still kind of out. We've heard a lot of conflicting things on masks. Originally they said don't wear masks, they don't work. They could be a host of bacteria. Now they're saying they do work. I mean, it only spreads through symptomatic, cases. So if you're coughing, if you're sneezing, it's those droplets that spread it. But if you're not coughing and you're not sneezing, then, it's really no purpose. I mean, it's practicing basic sanitary conditions will allow the virus to stop. But at the end of the day, they are just setting up for another lockdown, in my opinion. They are laying the groundwork through these small uptick in cases in a few localized neighborhoods in the outer boroughs in order to say, okay, we have to reel it back in. We can't open up the businesses again. And even the 25% is really kind of restrictive. Most of the state is already at 50 or above. And you can go between boroughs, from one borough, from Queens into Long Island, and they have 100% capacity. They've been letting people indoors now for weeks, if not months. So the entire situation is just completely untenable, and they're just playing around with the science, playing around with the numbers, and they're just really destroying the economy in the process. And it's a real shame what's going on in New York City on that front.
And Gavin, another thing that I'm very confused about is we hear that New York City officials say they want to reopen. They want people to come back to the city. They want people to vacation. The holidays are coming up. But yet, on the other hand, they're also threatening to shut down neighborhoods experiencing COVID spikes. So I'm wondering if this is just not just confusion in general. For New York City officials, they say one thing, but then they want something else. Like, what is it that they want the American people to know about New York City? Are they open? Are they closing? Because people cannot make plans. Nobody can. If you're saying come, and then the place is a filth, it's a dump, and then you're threatening to close down the city. They seem very confused in New York City.
No, you're absolutely right. It really depends who you ask. Cuomo and de Blasio seem to be at other ends of the spectrum in terms of how they want to reopen. They want to blame each other. They want each other to make the first mistake or the fall. It's just a bunch of political shenanigans between Albany and New York. It's leading to a lot of confusion. And like you said, people can't plan, businesses can't plan. That's hurting a lot of people. But at the end of the day, they're really just moving the goalposts. Unless we get a vaccine, the virus is not going to go away completely. So they have these high standards of absolutely no infections and no spikes. There are going to be spikes. People are going to get infected. What you really need to focus on are the hospitalizations, is the death rate. Those are much more important metrics than a rise in asymptomatic cases in one neighborhood that's very localized. They're just setting these unreasonable standards for reopening, unreasonable standards to meet when you have a virus that is a novel virus. When you can get it, you're going to see spikes, and they just have to handle that and accept that, like other states have done throughout the country, and move on. Otherwise, New York is being set back decades. The longer these kind of quasi-lockdowns go on for, and the longer our leadership remains completely clueless as to what they want to do next.
Yeah, economy is very important in New York for the entire country. Really quick, I want to ask you, do these shutdowns that happen to be coming, 34, 35 days outside of the election, do these have to do with the election? Is this a chance for Joe Biden to step in and say they're going to save the country with a shutdown?
I think so. I think that's a very good theory. I think all the lockdowns have a huge political impetus to them. Certainly in New York, certainly in many other blue states, I think they could play around with them. They could say that they're doing much more than the president by having these aggressive lockdowns. And then they could also, conversely, they could be the ones to remove them and pull them back and say that they saved the economy. So they're definitely putting much more political consideration into these lockdowns, into these quarantines, than health and public safety concerns, which is really disgusting from our public officials, many of whom are largely Democrats. But, who knows what they're doing? Many can even argue that they're making New York inhospitable, so all the Democratic voters of the city move to other states, move to more competitive.
There, but always going to have you back. Thank you so much, Gavin Wax. He is the president of the Young Republicans Club in New York City. We will be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
If you suffer from foot pain, ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, even lower back pain, if just standing causes aches, soreness, and fatigue, the problem could be your feet. When your feet are out of alignment, your entire body is out of alignment and you're in pain. Now you can change all of that. Today, introducing Superthonics, the doctor-designed breakthrough that solves the problem in your feet and relieves the pain throughout your entire body. It begins with the cushioned BioLock heel cup that holds your heel and ankle in perfect alignment. Next, metatarsal and longitudinal arch supports distribute the pressure of your body weight evenly across the entire foot.
Plus, these customizable inserts, which correct the angle at which your foot hits the ground, relieving your pain with every step you take.
Imagine being able to dance, walk, work, play golf, or just spend an afternoon shopping without the aches, pains, stiffness, and poor balance that rob you of your active life.
As a flight attendant, I spend a lot of time on my feet. The moment I put the Superthonics in, I could feel a huge difference. The pain in my knees went away, the pain in my feet went away. Not only am I wearing them for work, I'm wearing them all the time.
Imagine finally getting relief from painful problems like bunions, shin splints, corns, calluses, plantar fasciitis, and even stress fractures.
Doctor-prescribed orthotics can cost $600 to $800, but you won't pay anywhere near that for Superthonics when you call the number on your screen or go to Superthonics.com. For a limited time, you'll get the manufacturer's direct price of just $39.95. Call now, and we'll also include, at no extra cost, our soothing peppermint lotion to help invigorate your feet. You will also get our luxurious comfort slippers designed with durable memory foam. You receive it all. Superthonics are not available in any store. Call or go to Superthonics.com now.
Windshields are impossible to clean, and a dirty windshield can be downright dangerous. Introducing the Hurricane Windshield Wizard, the one tool that reaches and cleans for you. It uses the power of microfiber with a pivoting head to make cleaning windshields quick and easy. The specially designed ergonomic handle fills with tap water and dispenses at the touch of a button, so you can clean in seconds without straining. And it folds away for space-saving storage. Order now and get the Hurricane Windshield Wizard with free extra bonnet for just $19.99. But order now and you can double the offer. Plus, you can also get the Battle Visor, the visor that blocks the harsh glaring sun and keeps you safe on the road. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll ship everything to you for free. That means you can get all this and free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-474-7530 or visit GetWindshieldWizard.com. So call 1-800-474-7530 now.
We've been talking about health, masks, shutdowns, all of that. And to talk about that further, I want to bring in Dr. Ronnie Jackson. He is running for Congress in Texas. He was also a White House physician. Dr. Jackson, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me back.
Yeah, we are glad to have you back. So I also want to talk to you about what is going on with Joe Biden. It's something that I know you've talked about in the past. The president's health is very good. We don't know what's happening with Joe Biden. He did do well at the debate. We actually had a lot of people in the media who said, well, maybe the bar was set a little bit low because we were expecting him to somehow screw up in some way. But he was very alert, staring at the camera with his eyes wide open. So some folks are wondering, could that have been some sort of medication he took, or are we all being duped that his health is really bad and he's just going to come in as like this champion swinging at the end here?
No, I think we've seen too much over the last few months with his kind of the weird gaffes he has and getting stuck in sentences and stuff. And so you're right, he was a little bit more on his game the night of the debate and did better than some people expected. So, you know, it's reasonable to ask if there's something else going on here because his performance has been so lopsided and it's been on this extreme from one end to the other. So I think it's a reasonable question to ask. Could he be taking performance enhancing medications of some sort? And he certainly could be. There's a variety of those out there. There's some methamphetamine related ones that are used to treat ADHD and things of that nature. There's also things like Provigil out there that are used for sleep disorders and for shift work and things like that that'll increase your memory and your alertness. And so I think it's a reasonable question to ask if he's taking that, and everyone wants to know what medications the president's taking, and they expect him to be transparent about that, and they expect his physician to talk to the press about that and to talk to the public about that. I think it's perfectly reasonable to ask the candidate now who wants to be president in just a few weeks from now, wants to get elected as president of the United States, what medications are you taking? And his doctors and his team have to be transparent about that. We need to know the answers to these questions. So the fact that they were shunning, any suggestion of that, and the president had mentioned getting a drug test, and they don't want to do that, and they don't want to talk about the medications he may or may not be on. I think those are all concerning. They're good questions, and I think it's possible that could be what's going on. It's also possible that he's just trending into this cognitive decline, and he's having good days and bad days. That happens as well, and that kind of explains why they keep him sequestered most of the time.
But I like something you just said, because it seems like it's pretty reasonable for the American public to say, we want to know if you're on any medications. We want to know the health of our president. I remember when Obama was elected, they said, hey, this guy smokes cigarettes. He has to commit to the country that he's done smoking cigarettes. That was a really big deal. And it was okay back then to talk about it. Why have things changed?
Well, I think they're hiding something. I mean, I think that's the honest answer. They don't want to. They don't want to talk about it because it's not going to be good for their candidate.
But I do. I think you have to be transparent about that. You know, we're interviewing, as the public here, we're interviewing someone for President of the United States to be our commander in chief and our head of state. That person has to be cognitively sound. And if they're taking medications to cover up cognitive deficits, we need to know about that.
Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of transparency, you are in Texas. Your district is a pretty safe Republican district, but nearby you've had some ballot harvesting, and that could seriously affect the presidential election. So what do you know about that story?
Well, I know that there's a big investigation going on right now in Harris County, which is the Houston area, obviously a big populated area of Texas, where there's going to be a lot of votes coming in. You're right. My area of district, I'm in the #1 most conservative district in the entire United States. So as far as my election goes here as a Republican, things are looking pretty good for me. But we have to remember that the president's going to win or lose Texas based on a statewide vote. And so if they're harvesting ballots in the Houston area and undermining the votes of the conservative Trump folks out here in the area of Texas where I live, they could actually steal the election in Texas that way. Now, I think we're going to be okay in Texas, but what's going on in Harris County has got me super concerned about what's going on in Harris County, but also about what's going on in the rest of the country. We have a good, strong attorney general here that's looking into this case. That's not the case for some of the swing states. They have folks on the Democrat side that are overseeing some of this. And what's happening in Harris County, where they're going out to nursing homes and going out to low-income neighborhoods and gathering up these ballots potentially or allegedly, and then bringing them back, filling these ballots out, and then getting them into the system so they get counted and making sure they're all votes for the Democrats. And the county clerk in Harris County, along with a Biden-Harris volunteer or district director there, are the ones that are under investigation right now. So it's very concerning this is going on. It could impact the vote in Texas. But the fact that it's happening here concerns me that in swing states where they're going to turn a blind eye to it is going to really turn this election.
Yeah, we have about a minute left, so I just want to know, why do we have so many people? I mean, I hear the mainstream media every single day say, I mean, they fact-checked the president on saying there's mail-in ballot fraud on the debate and said there's no evidence of that, and yet we're seeing it in real time in multiple states in the United States right now.
It's all over the place. I mean, it's actually happening, and the left, the far left, and the liberal press, which in my mind are nothing more than the communications branch of the Democrat Party, are choosing to ignore it and try to change the narrative. But it's out there, it's happening, and this universal, unsolicited mail-in ballots, that they're pushing all over the country right now, that the left is pushing, could be the determiner for this, could be the determining factor for who wins this election, and it may be dictated by fraud. So this is a serious concern that we should all have, and I'm totally opposed to what's going on with these unsolicited mail-in ballots.
Absolutely, and that's definitely a concern now that we've seen the Project Veritas tapes from Minnesota. It's just crazy what's going on, but we are extremely excited for your election and you to be in Congress. Dr. Ronny Jackson, congressional candidate, we're so excited to have you on, and we will have you back. Thank you so much. And we are excited to see him in Congress. He is in a safe district. We expect him to win, and when he does, we will have him back to talk to our viewers. We'll be right back after this break.
The hottest new razor is taking the men's grooming world by storm. And if you don't have it, you need it. Micro Touch Solo, the hyper-advanced full-body razor that trims, shapes, edges, and even shaves with micro precision. And it's totally safe to the touch. Go solo for full body control with one tool. No nicks, bumps, or ingrown hairs. Edge beards and goatees with one touch. Clean your neck, barber shop perfect. And check this out. Snap on the guide to tame growth and perfectly shape your full beard. And keep new growth stubble trimmed exactly to your style. And look, the Solo Full Body Groomer trims precisely the length of hair you want. Snap off the guide and remove unwanted hair anywhere in seconds. What makes Solo different than your ordinary razor? Dual-sided German stainless steel blade. Shave up or down at 200 microstrokes per second. The Ultra Flex pivoting head contours perfectly to you for precise results. 3 custom grooming guides for control of exact length and shape. And a built-in LED light so you never miss a spot.
Solo is so precise, you need no creams, no soaps, and no water. Ditch the old man clippers and toss the scissors. You've got to go Solo. Call 1-800-709-9777 or go online at microtouchsolo.com and get yours now for only $19.99. Complete with German stainless steel blade, pivoting head, built-in spotlight, and 3 custom grooming guides. Everything you see here for just $19.99. The all-new MicroTouch Solo Full Body Groomer. The one tool that does it all.
Windshields are impossible to clean, and a dirty windshield can be downright dangerous. Introducing the Hurricane Windshield Wizard, the one tool that reaches and cleans for you. It uses the power of microfiber with a pivoting head to make cleaning windshields quick and easy. The specially designed ergonomic handle fills with tap water and dispenses at the touch of a button, so you can clean in seconds without straining. And it folds away for space-saving storage. Order now and get the Hurricane Windshield Wizard with free extra bonnet for just $19.99. But order now and you can double the offer. Plus, you can also get the Battle Visor, the visor that blocks the harsh glaring sun and keeps you safe on the road. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll ship everything to you for free. That means you can get all this and free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-474-7530 or visit getwindshieldwizard.com. So call 1-800-474-7530 now.
Jessica, we always like to end the show on something fun, and I'm presenting you with this story that I am going to say I don't think that this is fun, but it's interesting, and likely I will be considered a massive prude for presenting it the way I'm going to present it. But in Pennsylvania, lawmakers decided to pose topless to warn voters against submitting naked ballots. So you have to have the secrecy envelope on your ballot. They say desperate times call for desperate measures, so your favorite elected officials got naked so you could remember to make sure your ballot is not submitted without its secrecy envelope. This is so shocking to me because now you see, there she is. I am taking us back old school. I am going back to old school feminism and saying, not okay. You do not need to show your naked body to be powerful. I was just saying at the break, Jessica, I remember when powerful women were in power suits with a briefcase ready to take on the world, and they were going to take over the world. I don't see how this works. Like for the Kardashians who make a living off of being in a bikini picture, I get it. Go out. You know, one of the Kardashians did a go vote picture of her in a bikini. I'm sure it was incredibly hot and people were like, yes, she's beautiful. Maybe I'll go vote. Our elected officials, that is not their role. That's not their brand. It shouldn't ever be their brand. Like I said, I'm going to be considered a massive prude for this, but I don't think you need to show these to get people to go out and vote.
You are going to be labeled a major prude, but the only defense that I can give them is, I think, like they said, desperate times call for desperate measures. It wouldn't be something I would ever do either, and I would kind of think, I don't know if that's really going to work. But they seem to think that it's going to work, so I guess more power to them. The only thing I thought was, with the state of the world right now, at least it's a nonviolent way to get your point across. I guess that was the benefit.
And we're talking about it.
Exactly. But in Oregon, Tudor, a little boy by the name of Carver, actually, this is such a sweet story. With all the fires going on over there, he decided that he didn't want them to be lonely. So he wanted to send them his Baby Yoda doll to keep him company. And he sent a letter saying that. And now Baby Yoda has his own Facebook group. And the firefighters are actually tracking down their, they're tracking Baby Yoda's travels across the state, where he goes, where he's helping out these firefighters. And it's garnering a lot of viewers.
I love this. So I am also going to take us back old school on this. This is my thing in this segment for some reason. But this I think is adorable because, you know, you get to see him all over Facebook. So when I was a kid, I don't know if you remember this, people had these cement ducks that they put in front of their house, and you could decorate it. It wore clothes for every season, okay? So my best girlfriend's duck was stolen, and it just disappeared. So her parents were sad because their cement duck was stolen. But then it arrived back like a year later with a different outfit and a roll of a big package of photographs of all the places it had been. It had traveled around the world. Someone did this. This is like pre-Facebook times, right? When you had no way of doing this. So they had to actually have the actual pictures of this duck. I don't even know, how would you even travel? It was a huge cement duck. It had to have been so heavy. But this is like the modern day travels of the duck.
Was
now,
it Polaroid
Baby Yoda is
pictures? The ones that like you make sure you get the big flash and then it comes out and you have to,
I think
air
so.
it
I
out.
don't even think Polaroid is a thing anymore. Now our kids won't even know what that is.
No, they wouldn't know what that is. Not at all.
No, my kids can't wait for anything. They're like, well, just have it download, Mom. I'm like, oh my gosh. When I was a kid, guess what? We had to watch commercials. You couldn't even fast forward.
Oh, my son, at 3, he's furious. He thinks that I turned his show off. And I'm like, it's a commercial. He doesn't quite get it. I'm like, what a long, hard life you're going to have.
Oh, I know. Well, they found a phone at an antique store one time, and they were like, Mom, do you know what this is? Do you know how to plug it into the wall? I felt really old.
You're like, I
do. But stay tuned because
do.
The National Pulse is next. You won't want to miss it.
The hottest new razor is taking the men's grooming world by storm. And if you don't have it, you need it. Micro Touch Solo, the hyper-advanced full-body razor that trims, shapes, edges, and even shaves with micro precision. And it's totally safe to the touch. Go solo for full body control with one tool. No nicks, bumps, or ingrown hairs. Edge beards and goatees with one touch. Clean your neck, barber shop perfect. And check this out. Snap on the guide to tame growth and perfectly shape your full beard.